So, all right.
Okay, okay, yeah. So I'm in Houston. I'm a professional matchmaker and I do dating and relationship coaching. Yeah, so I have to ask you, does any of the boomers, the lonely people, like, do they date? Like, what is it?
Well, I watch on AARP magazine, and they've covered that a time or two to some extent. I've never married, never had
Okay,
kids,
okay,
but they AARP has examined how people are finding dating working in older years, you know.
mm-hmm.
So I I've been on lots of dating sites throughout my life.
Okay,
I haven't dated a lot, but you know, you have to be cautious, and like a lot of things, it's better to get connected with people who you know. I'm
right,
reading the book The Power of You, and I
okay,
no, The Power of Who.
okay.
But it's who you know that they know you and you know them, that they can kind of speak for your authenticity and reliability and somewhat of your
Your
personality.
character.
Yeah. So the last site I was on was Zoosk, Zoosk, and
Okay.
I met a couple people, but I think love is always in season, and I'm starting to feel more and more deeply of both having love for the world and love
Yes.
for myself.
I love that. And that's what I teach people. Love yourself first. Because the more love you have for yourself, the more love you have for the people around you, the world, your community. So
Right.
I'm total in agreement with that.
Oh,
Had to learn that the hard way.
yeah, yeah. I think I started working on, you know, looking in the mirror and saying I love
Mhm.
you
Yes,
and
yes, yes.
feel it, you know.
Yes. And dealing with self. Most people don't want to deal with self, and a lot of people don't want change.
Oh dear.
I've
I'm
learned that. I've learned that. So, a psychologist taught me that 93% of people will never change, 7% will change once, and 3 are constantly evolving and changing. Yes.
That's a pretty sad statistics, isn't it?
It is. And the reason I asked him that was because I used to be in ministry a long time ago. I'm so far removed now. And I just didn't understand why people weren't changing. Like, if you have the tools, why aren't you using them? People don't want to change.
Yeah. Yeah, I was thinking just the last day or two, I've been wanting to impact 10% of the boomers, and it just dawned on me, I think last night as I was going to sleep, that
Mhm.
if only 3% are willing to change, then I'm overstepping my what's possible.
Right, right,
And
right.
unless they hurt bad enough, I've always said people don't change until they hurt bad enough to want to change.
That's it right there. You're right.
Could be that the world is hurting bad enough that people are starting to wake up, that they could be part of the solution. I hope.
I agree. You know, sometimes I wish that the media would show the good things about life, right? Because I believe if we all put our energy towards that, we would all change.
Yeah, another book I'm reading right now is Infectious Generosity.
I love that. That works.
Yeah, I've been saying for about 6 years, I've been planting seed, and
Okay.
seed has to have a harvest.
Yes, it
So,
does.
yeah, so um, as I go to sleep, I say, why am I incredibly beautiful, slim, and confident?
Yes, honey.
Why am I a millionaire? And why am I surrounded by so much love?
Uh-huh, uh-huh.
And And it's really been the why am I surrounded by so much love that seems the farthest out there. But little
Okay.
by little, I'm feeling I'm letting the love in is kind of,
Okay.
yeah.
I love that. I love your nighttime affirmations or ritual.
hmm I pray
We all
for
need one.
I pray for 20 people, morning
Okay.
and night. And by the way, that's my solution to not having my mind spin and spin and spin and spin.
Okay.
I don't worry, but you can still get trapped in, the little hamster still going
The
around.
hamster wheel, yeah. Do you have
Yeah,
a war room? A prayer closet war room?
not really. No,
Okay, okay.
I have a sewing room.
Okay, so that's your war room then.
Yeah, so I make these little art blocks, and this is on the front of my book. I love to sew. I love
Okay.
to collect wisdom, and I love color.
I love that. Beautiful.
So
Beautiful.
here's another one that is a good one for retirees because if you
Okay.
without a job, without your colleagues, a reason to
Yes,
get out of the
nice.
house, they forget that they're still the one with a college education. They're still the one with used to love to play the trombone or paint or whatever. Just because you don't have a calling card anymore doesn't mean that that's out the window. You just need to
Right.
repurpose it, you know?
Yeah, and reignite the fire. So I have to ask you this. Have you watched The Later Daters on Netflix?
The Golden Bachelors.
Okay, I haven't seen that, but The Later Daters was dating after 50.
Oh, okay. No, I haven't seen that.
It's so amazing. Yes, to see the spark come alive again, for people to have their fire ignited again. It's such a beautiful thing because I feel like we all deserve love,
Mhm.
you
Absolutely.
know? So that's exciting. But what's the show you were talking about?
Well, I mainly watch ABC and Hallmark, and
Okay.
ABC has had one guy, and I think he was called a Golden Bachelor, and now
Okay.
there's a Golden Bachelorette. And I haven't seen
Oh,
any of those, but I uh oh, I forgot my thought that I had. Well, let me say uh, speaking of Hallmark, I
okay.
got the I got the title for my book, Fresh Courage in Retirement: Finding Purpose, Essence, and Fulfillment from a Hallmark movie.
I love that. I love
They
Hallmark movies too.
they said when you go home from vacation, you often go home with fresh courage. Yeah, I had figured that out in my
Uh-huh.
last job that, I had more gumption, more grit, more backbone when I got
Hmm.
home from vacation because I was tired of putting up with stuff that needed to be fixed. And so
Okay.
I took it on. But
Wow.
um, so I bought a dress when I was about 38 or 40, and it was my
Okay.
Expect a Miracle plan.
Okay, please tell me about that.
So I had read Oral Roberts had a book called Daily Guide to Miracles, and it was like
Okay.
a 3 month book he intended for you to read over and over and over again.
Hmm.
And one of the principles about your miracle is that, and I had said often during my life, "Well, it'll be a miracle if I ever get married," even though I
Hmm.
knew I was prettier than my sisters. And um, so they said, "Well, act as if your miracle is going to happen."
Yes,
So I
yes.
started making a list. A couple days I laid all the invites I had for weddings and what would I want mine
Okay.
to say. And then I guess the next step was I went shopping for a wedding dress, and
Okay.
I had to stretch the truth because where did you meet your guy, and what's he
Okay.
like and all this stuff. And and now I have a new goal, I guess this last 3 or 4 months to get down to the size to wear that wedding dress again because I need to lose about 25 pounds to get into that dress
Oh,
again.
you can do that. You can definitely do that. But I have a question, right? So you were doing the 33-month miracle challenge, right? And you wrote out your wedding information, your guests, you got your dress, all that kind of good stuff. So when it didn't happen then, how did you feel? And are you at that place now? Like, I'm getting married.
I'm getting married. Actually,
Like,
actually, what I have started announcing is I'm considering being in a senior Miss America pageant.
okay,
My audience is boomers, and
okay,
they have all this free time on their hand, and I see that as untapped potential. They need to be inspired and thriving to make a difference in the world. The Peace Corps was started in the time
okay,
that we were maturing, young 20s. And I
okay.
think it might be time to do another Peace Corps gig where we're going out into the world and solving problems.
I love that. So, wait a minute, I have to go back to your problem. Or are you intending on wearing that dress when you get married?
I am it's definitely planning on it now. Now
Okay,
it may need some altering. I did. Okay, so I knew on I had blossomed into 245 pounds before I retired.
okay,
And I have since lost about 55 pounds
okay,
and I'm looking a lot better now, but I have room to go. So,
okay.
but your question was,
So, my question is, are you planning on getting married?
well, I'm planning on you. Okay. So the train of thought I had lost was I moved with my job down to Tampa, Florida for a couple years, and then to
Mhm.
Dallas, Texas,
Okay.
Texas, and
Everything's big in Texas.
I realized how much I was kind of addicted to nibbling, and so I
Okay.
started putting some iridescent sequins on my dress to
Hmm.
embellish it.
Okay.
So it was be a little more fancy, I guess. But
Okay.
I sewed them by hand onto my wedding dress to keep
Okay.
myself from nibbling.
Oh, wow. Okay. So now you just have 25 more pounds to go, and then you'll be wearing it well.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I need a gown for a pageant, and I don't know that I'm brave enough to wear a wedding dress, but I'm 77 and
Okay.
I'm heading for 100.
Oh, I
And
love that.
I feel like I'm the model of health. Never had cancer, never had diabetes, never been in the hospital overnight.
Oh,
I did
beautiful.
I did have cataract surgery, but
Okay. You still healthy.
yeah. So I'm a model for healthy, worry-free living with peace in my heart.
I love that. I
But
love that.
here's the best part. My
Tell me.
spark that I want to teach people how to learn for themselves
Okay.
is how to define their soul. When I,
Okay.
when I was asked to do this, that first weekend of model coaching school,
Hmm.
as we stood in the circle and read our essence statement to each other, that I now call spark or inner spark, as
Okay.
as it came my turn, I felt like you'd asked me to define my soul. And
Wow.
here's what I read that day. I am precious jewel of wisdom. I am colorful collaborator, motivator, and learner. I am tranquil, authentic, and pure inspirer. I light fires.
I love that. So my mission is I change lives. That's what's on everything. I change lives, you know?
Those that want to change, yeah.
Yeah, those that want to change. But I have to go back here. So you were writing out everything as far as your invitation list, right? So did you ever write a list of the type of man that you desire, your wish list?
Well, I do have, in fact, somebody asked me about this in
Hmm.
early October. I had gone on a cruise and always have a formal night, and I took with me the dress I wore for my 70th birthday party, which was
Okay.
a royal purple and
Ooh.
kind of had some sashing, across it. And in fact, as I was leaving the dining room, I actually interrupted somebody's conversation when he saw me.
Uh-huh, see?
Yeah, and so I guess I saw something on LinkedIn of a gal jumping up in the air that was older, and
Uh-huh.
you could see her feet, so she wasn't on the ground anymore. So she must have been very athletic. That
Okay.
talked about this senior Miss America pageant that this gal was um in participating in, and so I mentioned it to my friend that uh in Baltimore. I've known him since he was uh, unmarried, and he was married for over 60 years.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so I've let him help me a little bit with replacing my computer and whatever, but he now texts me practically every day. And but so he asked me what 10 main qualities did I look for in a man, and
Uh-huh.
I because I'm not that interested in him, I kind of skirted the question and gave him more about what I believe about certain main factors of a balanced life and
Okay.
philosophy more. Oh, I
Uh-huh.
think you misunderstood my question. So I had created a life book that covered like career and relationships and reputation and
Hmm.
legacy and whatever. So,
Okay.
so I summarized the one page on love. I summarized that with saying, I wanted him to be organized and generous and fun and
Okay.
all that kind of thing. But then another question that seemed to go deeper was I sent him a picture, a photo of a book, I mean, a sheet I had made up for what things do you want to be, do, and have.
Okay.
That gets close to home. And
Okay.
I thought I'm not gonna, rewrite all this. I'll just send a photo of it. And he kind of got the picture, that I was a different kind of person. And they seem to always, well, I love it to get go to the secondhand store and get ideal kind of things, with
Okay. Okay.
in fact, my best picture, I bought that jacket. I still have it from a secondhand store. And,
Okay.
and as
Okay.
I was trying it on, a guy was coming towards me. He says, "Well, that looks like it was made for you."
Oh.
Yeah, it fit me so well. And then
Uh-huh.
I had paid a gal to do my makeup that matched the jacket, and so
Uh-huh.
it's very I felt blessed to have come across that. But pinching pennies is not what I want in my future. I want to be able to travel some
Yes.
and enjoy some bed and breakfasts around the world, perhaps,
Okay. Okay.
or the Laguna Art Festival,
Mm-hmm.
or let's see, the Sandcastle Festival, or
Okay.
a hot
Nice.
air balloon festival.
So I have to go back. So why don't you like your guy friend in Baltimore?
Well,
In
I
Maryland, excuse me.
all right, Sharon. I sense that he in fact would try to get under my skin.
Okay.
I
In what regard?
he likes to be very helpful. In fact, he finally told me that his wife said you can't solve every problem.
Okay, okay.
So it's like he gets so valuable, so helpful. So how can you not love him? Because
Mm-hmm.
he kind of weasels himself under your skin.
But that's a good thing, right? That means he's really into you.
Yeah, yeah, I know that.
So you love those that love you.
Yeah, I'm not saying it's impossible. He's shorter than me, and he
Okay.
and that bothers me. And
He's
he
confident.
he's 9 years older than me.
Oh, my husband is 14 years older than me.
Oh, you're scooting off all those excuses.
I am. I have a comeback for everything, Sharon.
Well, I have had a few times, like last December, it's late November, early December, that I sensed he was on his way.
On his way transitioning out
Yeah,
of
and
life.
like he was kind of like right here
Okay.
for 2, 3, 4 days. And I think I have a picture of somebody. Why I moved to Dallas was because I had been writing this guy in a platonic way,
Mm-hmm.
and wanted to never go to my grave, having wondered if something would have worked out.
Okay.
And the last picture I saw of him, he looked sad in his health, just really bad. And
Okay.
but I didn't hang everything on him, but I did move to Dallas uh,
Mm-hmm.
for this guy that I had actually met when I first moved to Tampa.
Okay.
And but I'm starting to feel the thriving about putting two hearts, two people together, and how much
Okay.
bigger and fuller life seems when
Absolutely. I think that having a healthy relationship is the most amazing thing in the world. I do. And that's why I was asking you why you were putting him at bay since he was really into you and all the excuses that you gave.
he decided. I could tell that he has two sons, and I can tell that they're starting to follow me on Facebook, so
Mm-hmm.
checking me out.
Uh-huh.
But he decided that he would. Well, I said I definitely want you as a friend, and that uh, I would be his younger adopted sister.
That is not nice of you, Sharon. A pure slap in the face.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Let me put this hat on.
Flapping my wings. That's a cute hat. I love it. Oh, you're gorgeous. Yes, honey.
Anyway, um, I I do sense that it will come, and I'm not. I'm the one that stops me, so I'll keep losing weight, and
Mm-hmm.
I'm in tops, take off pounds sensibly.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm weighing myself every day, and I'm trying to, in fact, love and encourage and inspire all the retirees to realize what's inside of them. Like what
Okay.
you're probably like, what's my invisible assets? The
Mm-hmm.
things
Mm-hmm.
I
Mm-hmm.
love to do, my values, my um, hot points about life. I
Yes.
one of my hot point buttons is Harley Davidson people that always wear black, and you can't see them because they're black. And the street is black and the clouds are black. How can I
Uh,
have to see you? So, but I don't have very many of those hot buttons. But I, I, yeah, I'm the one that decides what stops me. And so I keep putting a foot in one in front of the other. And I feel like I'm getting bolder, admitting this on a podcast is risky, but
Well, I think and sorry to interrupt, that you self-sabotage because even the gentleman that said that the jacket was made for you, like it seemed like you just paused it, like, oh, thank you, and pause, keep going.
yeah, yeah. I was in a store, around here at Value Village, and I go in there oftentimes with a sense of wonder,
Mm-hmm.
like intuition. What will I find here that I need? Now,
Okay.
oftentimes I have something in mind, like when I went on the cruise, I my slacks, white slacks, one of the nights was declared you're supposed to wear a white, all white on the dinner menu.
Okay.
And,
Okay.
and my white was too big. So I
Oh.
needed to get a better. So I went into Value Village looking for something white, like pedal pushers or capris.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
But but I take that as a gift, a God wink when I find something perfectly that I fit and be a surprise. In fact, okay, the rest of the thing I asked when I first get up was I
Mm-hmm.
finish it off with what do I need to know today?
Uh-huh, uh-huh.
And how are you going to dance with me today?
Okay, okay.
So that's to me inviting the Holy Spirit to lead the right people on my path. And
Right.
like with my car situation, it didn't start. The lady 2 floors down from me called while I was trying to arrange for a towing
Mm-hmm.
service and said, "Well, let me know when I can pick you up from when your car is fixed." So
Okay, okay.
that was totally unexpected and a dance with God.
Right. So you didn't answer my question. Why do you so sabotage?
I would say, Sharon, that I have not done a good job at asking for what I want.
So maybe you should ask Holy Spirit for what you want.
Yeah, so the simple thing of telling people to like and subscribe is something I'd never done
Right.
until I realized I don't ask for what I want. Now I love collaboration,
Yes,
but
yes.
it still requires sharing some of yourself to with others to be creative. Now, I am a
Right.
certified knowledge manager, and
Okay.
how I define a knowledge manager is when Sharon puts out on the table what she knows, and I put out on the table what I know. The
Mm-hmm.
opportunity for new knowledge to erupt,
That's it. Yes.
then
Yes.
that's a beautiful
Yes.
thing.
It is. And that's how collaborations take
Right,
place.
right.
So I love that, because it's about building relationships,
Yeah, yeah.
you
So
know.
I've started adding to my prayer for when I go to sleep is thank you, God, for $20,000.
Yes.
I'm
Yes.
asking,
Manifest it. That's
right.
right. I believe that. But you also have to be willing to receive it because a lot of people believe that they aren't in the space of receiving because we're givers. You know what I'm saying? So then receiving is like, I don't know, but no, I mean, God wants to bless us. God wants to bless us with healthy relationships, with the money that we need and want, just so many things, healthy friends, health, wealth. Yeah, it's about us, the power of belief,
So,
speaking.
so I start my book with telling how weird I am.
Okay, I don't think you're weird, but tell me why you're weird.
I'm weird because I enjoy listening to people tell their near-death experience stories.
Okay, okay. I don't think that's weird because I too have went down the rabbit hole on YouTube about people who have had near death. those who have died and come back, because I had two out of body experiences in my younger years. So to me, it's not odd. It's just something that we're all going to have to do initially. I mean, at one time or another, and we're all going to take that journey. So I kind of go down that rabbit hole too, because I want to know what people saw, how they felt, if what we were taught was real or is real. So yeah. So tell
Yeah.
me your experience
Well,
going
and
down
I
that
haven't had, but
rabbit hole.
this this is, oh yeah, you can still see it. The common messages that people have brought back
Mhm,
for the rest of us is
mhm,
I am infinitely worthy. You are
mhm,
infinitely precious. You have always been enough. You will always be enough.
mhm.
There's not a place you don't belong. You are lovable.
Yes, yes, yes.
You are loved and you are love.
I
So,
agree.
so what I've started saying in some of my speeches is that I've imagined standing where they are in
Mhm.
heaven
Okay.
and absorbing in every cell of my body the beauty, the fragrances, the colors, the music, and then asking, how does that change life here on earth?
Okay.
And I believe knowing your inner spark is like experiencing heaven on earth. It
I
is,
believe that.
you're so in touch with your destiny, perhaps, or how God made you. And
Yep.
when and God loves us to be happy and joyful. I mean, how
Yeah.
many places in the Bible does it that your joy may be full?
Right. And living on purpose. That's
Right,
so important.
right.
You
So
know.
that's what you get when you know who you are on the inside. And there is not a scripture specifically that talks about your inner spark, but it does talk
Right.
about the the mystery inside of us. And I think
Mhm,
Ephesians 3:16 comes pretty close about describing your inner being. I
mhm,
want you to
mhm,
know enough about yourself that I am this person. And
mhm.
and
But go ahead.
nobody asks about that. Nobody knows that you can define your soul.
Well, most people don't know who they are because they've been defined from birth who they are and what they'll like and how to proceed in life. You'll go to college, you'll get this degree, you'll do this, you'll do that, as opposed to allowing people to figure it out. If that makes sense, like looking at your child and seeing what they enjoy. They might enjoy putting things together. They might be an architect or a builder or something like that. So, yeah, you know, we define people too much as opposed to allowing the natural self to come out and shine.
Yeah, in fact, I have a slide here that I have been showing my loneliness group.
Hmm.
Why is it important you know yourself? Well, you can learn to accept who you are. You can
Yes.
let go of self-doubt. Your confidence will improve. You'll
Hmm.
make better life choices. You'll express yourself freely. And when I felt invisible my whole career, I didn't express myself freely. I'm such a
Most
different,
people don't.
yeah, yeah. So self-compassion will come more easily or self-care. You'll improve your emotional intelligence.
Yes,
You'll know your worth.
that's right.
Being disliked won't bother you. You'll overcome your fears. You'll form better relationships. And your path in life will become clearer and you'll have more self-control.
I totally agree. And what I was going to say, and you said it, um, you said you won't care if people don't like you. My experience with finding myself and knowing myself, you lose people, you lose friends, perceived friends. Um, family members, because now you become who you are and who you were meant to be. And I believe that they feel like she doesn't or he doesn't need me anymore. So they kind of scatter because before you were depending on them, right? And now you're like, oh no, I got this. Me and God got this. And they're like, what about me? So yeah, it's deep. It
Yeah,
really is. I found myself beginning at age 40. That's when I got to know me and what I liked and what I didn't like and things like that. And my whole life changed.
that's yeah, 35 to 40 is a when you start feeling a differentiation between
Mm-hmm.
you and your parents, for example, right?
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah.
and being able to know yourself a little, you're open to learning about yourself a little more. Did you freeze?
Yeah. I think the Wi-Fi is acting weird.
Yeah, yeah. All right. So
Are you there?
yeah, I'm here. Yeah, it does say that my connection is unstable. So, well, another way to
Testing. Can you hear
edit.
me? Okay,
Yeah,
okay.
edit. Yeah, edit.
So what number are we at? We are, does it give you a timestamp?
Yeah, I've got, well, I see my time is 39 minutes into the hour. So,
Okay, so
yeah,
about 38.
yeah.
Okay, okay. But yeah, so when you would know who you are, people begin to scatter. And you're like, I thought you were my friend.
Well, at the same time, as others see you getting stronger and bolder, and that definitely seems to be happening with the podcasts I'm on, that more
Mhm.
people finding me instead of me having find them. Uh,
Yes.
an invitation this morning came of being on a podcast of being created in the image of God, I think it was. But they
Okay.
also want money to be on their podcast, so I'll have to check and see. They're asking for what they need and want.
Yeah, yeah. And you know what? I shouldn't have frowned because I get it. I get it. And because they did it, I might do it too. So I use everything as a lesson. I love to learn.
Me too.
Yeah, so we might all have to start doing that.
Yeah, yeah, because I've just brought on a CEO and a CFO to help me. I hit kind of a wall with having too much technology to keep in front of,
Okay.
and overwhelmed was the feeling I had. And my Baltimore friend, I allowed him to buy me a new computer.
Oh, you're taking gifts, but you won't date them. Oh, shame on you. Your big brother bought you a computer.
I could change, I suppose.
Yes, I think you need to consider it, ma'am.
Okay. All right, I'll put my hat on and
Yes, put the hat on. And this is my butterfly. Flap, flap, baby. Flap, flap.
so it's oh, the process of loving yourself. How did that
Mhm.
happen for you?
Wow. So I was actually in a 16-year marriage where he cheated all 16 years and I stayed. And once I got out, I started therapy because I had figured I must not have loved myself if I allowed him to cheat on me and I stayed. Something was wrong with me. He wasn't the problem. He was doing what he knows to do. And the problem was me. So I had to deal with self. So I did. And that was my saving grace.
Yeah, yeah.
Hmm.
And
Yeah.
and you were a minister during that time?
Oh, we pastored together. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we pastored together. So it just is, we accept things a lot of times that don't belong to us.
Well, and um, we decide what stops us, but that's my mantra.
Hmm.
We're doing the best we know how,
Yeah, I think I knew better, if that made sense. I
but you
knew
weren't bold enough to do something about it.
it wasn't that I wasn't bold enough. So I'm on my fifth marriage. So men love to marry me, okay? I know how to get married. I just figured I needed to do some self work. I figured that I deserved more at that point. The reason I did stay in that marriage so long, I didn't want to disappoint God. But once I got out of that marriage, I believe God did not want me to be suffering the way I did. So my perspective of even God changed once I relieved that, once I left that relationship. So yeah, I changed and I love who I am now. I love everything about myself. And again, I have more love to share. And God has blessed me with a wonderful, kind husband now. We've been together 8 years and we have a beautiful relationship. I couldn't ask God for anything more. We met in the Dominican Republic. We just happened to be standing next to each other. I was there for 5 weeks. He was there for 2 days. We shared the same birthday. His wife that died, her name is my nickname, which is Shay. She did life coaching. I do. She did public speaking. I do. So my husband said, God took away his rose and gave him a butterfly.
Mhm.
I'm his butterfly. And that's why. Flap, flap.
I love butterflies. Yeah,
Me
that's my
too. Me too.
logo.
Oh,
Cool.
really? Mine too. They call me Madam Butterfly online. You know,
Yeah,
um,
sweet. Well,
yeah,
because my butterfly represents the effortless vitality.
I love that. Mine's represents coming out of the cocoon
Hmm.
into something beautiful, becoming something beautiful, you
Well,
know.
we we have. I guess we need to pray for people to realize that they can grow. One of the myths that went around Boeing before I left, somebody shared with me that a lot of people put off retiring because they know they'll be dead in 3 years.
Oh, wow.
Oh, that hurt.
A boredom of not having anything to do, nothing to live for.
Yeah, so I came home from being out of town for a weekend, and first thing I did was come out here to my patio and water my plants because that's how they grow is with water.
Right.
Oh, yeah, if we're not growing, we're dying.
That's it right there. That's
So,
it.
I believe people are starting to be awake that the change and the healing in the world, we can help with that. I'd like
Yeah.
to believe we can. And when you're living your heaven on earth, it's easy. It's a
Yes.
delight. Yes, you may require some vulnerability. And I have a favorite line about vulnerability that when you or
Mm-hmm.
be willing to show up and be seen without any guarantee of the outcome, to me, that invites a
Yes.
miracle.
Yes.
I,
Yes.
I live to be vulnerable, and it invites you to be vulnerable back.
Yes. And that's how I attracted, I believe, my husband, because I was guarded at one point, right? And I took on a very masculine energy, not being gay or anything like that, but a protective mechanism, like I don't need a man type of thing. But in the Dominican Republic, which is where I met my husband, I had an epiphany and an experience with God where I just remember myself at the base of the shower, just crying and talking to God and saying, God, you did not make me like this. You created me to be a woman and to walk in my femininity. And that's who I want to be. And I just cried and cried and I wept. And it was like when I got up, I was a totally new person. So there was some purging that was going on right there that I needed. I needed that safe space with God. And I met my husband that same week. And again, I'm able to walk in my femininity, be soft, right? And not be all firm and whatever. Just allow myself to be a beautiful woman.
Yeah. Elizabeth Gilbert had a very similar experience of being in a heap on the floor.
Oh,
And,
wow.
yeah.
Who is Elizabeth Gilbert?
She wrote Eat, Pray, Love.
Okay, okay.
She's been on Oprah a few times, but yeah, she came to the end of herself, basically, one of those come to God
Yes,
moments. Yeah.
yes.
And um, she left her marriage, and it seems like her dearest friends now are women, whether
Hmm.
she's married them or not, I don't quite know, but
Hmm.
she's written 3 or 4 books and
Okay.
all about um, personal growth. Yeah, precious.
Yeah, it definitely was a growing space for me. And my husband, he's so kind that his kindness just grounded me
Hmm.
in love, and I truly do love him and, thank God for him.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Well, we'll have a follow-up a session here, I'm sure.
Yes, I would love it. I would love it. And I want to see you happy and in love at 77 because literally I was on TikTok yesterday and it was a lady, I think she was 77 or 70. She was in her 70s and her boyfriend is 2 years younger than her. And she was saying she did not know that love would be like this. She was 20 years celibate, and now she just has a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful relationship. So I want to encourage you so you will know that love is waiting for you to receive it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, and some of the websites I've been on for dating, I look for people who are somewhat generous
Yeah.
and that we can fly and we can cruise various places. And you don't marry for that, but it's elements that you can enjoy life with them. So
Yeah.
uh, too often wealthy people don't love life like we do.
They don't. So, my question is your friend, your big brother friend, is he well off and generous?
Well, he did spend some money on going to a Christmas thing at in Lancaster, I guess, with the Amish. He said it was fabulous, good food and all. Um, but the even his wife would tell she had to teach me how to take airplane flights
Oh, Sharon, you
for
went out for a little bit. What's that time stamp?
uh 52.
Okay, so
So
start over.
she said that they have never paid for an airline ticket.
Okay.
They always, and I guess it's more of the culture now to use all your
Points.
points. Yeah, and when I went on my cruise, I in fact paid nothing for my ticket to Fort Lauderdale and back.
Oh, wow.
So I used to think that was playing a game and not, to me, credit cards are a shackle. They're debt, and I
Bondage.
yeah, and I've incurred a lot of that with the business that I'm doing so far. But
Okay.
um, so see him penny pinch. Well, and when he told me his schedule for the week or the month.
Okay.
It was all the free things at church.
Okay. So he might not be so generous. Well, he might be generous and he's just holding on to his money because I hear a lot of wealthy people don't like spending money. That's how they become wealthy.
Yeah, and he said that one of his pensions that he has was from his military service, and that he designates that as what he can give, bless people with. S-
Oh, wow.
So that's he blessed me with a new computer, and he felt good about doing it, you know.
Oh, I love that.
So I just don't want to, you know, become in a mode of expecting that and
Right.
relying on it, you know. There's a
Okay.
certain amount of I did it myself.
Okay, I get it. I get it. Receive, honey, receive, receive, and receive those millions.
Well, and millions aren't what make you happy anyway. So,
Well, honey, I sure enough would like to see. Okay. I'm sure I'll be very happy along with my current happiness.
well, and in fact, maybe he's already in heaven and I need to meet him there, you know, perhaps.
Oh, God, child, you sound like most of the women in the black church.
Well, it'll come and being ready. I keep, you know, my hair keeps getting thinner and uh,
Uh-huh.
but um
I think you need a dating coach.
dating coach. I probably do. Yeah.
Yes, you know.
I never wanted my dad to walk me down the aisle. That was
Why
not
not?
well, because he was the instigator of a lot of sexual abuse.
Oh, okay.
My sister had a baby by my dad.
Oh, wow. I'm
And
sorry.
yeah, so I I decided that if I double down, be obedient, not rock the boat, um, apply myself, then maybe I'll be safe. But
Okay.
I've since learned that those situations, they either become more promiscuous or they put on weight. So I put
Okay.
on weight, and my sister was somewhat more promiscuous. But
Okay.
yeah, so books, being a lifelong learner, books don't hurt you.
No, books don't. And that's why you probably self-sabotage. So my therapy also included sexual trauma, sexual abuse trauma, because my uncle at the age of, I was 6 or 7, was continuously molesting me and trying to have sex with me. So yeah. So I get it.
Yeah.
I get it. You know.
So, and I didn't find guys that interesting. You know, they weren't. One of the things I have in my life book is that they challenge me, or you know, as iron sharpens iron, one
Yeah.
sharpens another, and that's kind of an important factor to me.
Can I ask you a question?
Sure.
Have you healed from your sister's sexual trauma?
Um, I guess I didn't. I processed at some of my college classes. I had um, occasions where I would talk to another guy as if it
Okay.
was what I wanted to say to my dad. And I've gone through some spiritual healing on
Okay.
that, where I remember feeling I had a band-aid on my arm that was getting ripped off, and a
Okay.
healing there. Yeah.
Okay.
So, and I remember times at church, one Sunday, I felt like if anybody comes up behind me and says boo, I'd be an eggshell that would crumble.
Okay.
Or I figured out, oh yeah, if I give hugs, I'll get hugs. So I
Okay.
did that somewhat. And
Okay.
I'll never forget being at a restaurant here in town and with after church with my uncle, and
Mhm.
I decided to tell him our family secret.
Okay.
And outside the restaurant, he gave me a big hug, and I said, "This is the real kind of love, isn't it?" Because he could recall a couple, two or three things that he saw that were weird.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah,
And
yeah.
that that week, my uncle died.
Oh, wow.
So his gift to me in his last week of life was just
Yeah.
priceless. Yeah.
Yes, yes. The hug and the truth.
Hmm. Hmm.
Yes. Family secrets are deadly weapons, and they can harm and hurt so many people in a family, especially when they're not exposed.
Back, yeah, the trauma holds them back their whole life stuck. I have
Yes, ma'am.
a younger sister like that, so she's had rheumatoid arthritis for decades, and
Wow.
little by little, I see some hope that she might change, but
Yes.
I just keep praying for her anyway, and we're out of time.
Oh, well, I so appreciate you and thank you for opening up and sharing and allowing me to be on your platform, on your podcast. I'm so excited. I'm gonna follow you on Instagram.
Good,
Yes.
good,
So
good.
thank you. Thank
Well,
you. Thank
I
you.
think God's up to something, and we're just going in the flow.
Absolutely. Yes, yes, yes. And thank you again.
See you. Love you.
Bye. Love you.
Bye.